2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. We have lots to talk about today. As usual, I'm not as late as I was last time. You guys got to give me some credit. Only 9 minutes late this time. Chris and I had to talk about the title a little bit and what I'm going to talk about today. Originally, it was just like Fed rate pause. And I was like, well, I'm only going to talk about Powell for like 2 minutes because he didn't do anything. And he says the same thing every time. So, you know, who really cares about that? Let's put in what you guys care about, and that's talking about altcoins. Specifically, we're going to look at Alex Becker's picks today. So last week we looked at you guys can look back at that show. In the Afterparty, we looked at a specific influencer's coin picks, and I reviewed like 10 of them. And actually, if you're in the TRI Lounge, you saw that I bought around 5 of them today. So today, we're going to look at what Alex Becker is buying, holding. Let's look at it from a TA standpoint and see, is it actually a good buy or not? What is he talking about? Do we want to purchase these coins at the price points that he's posting about them? And what are potential targets that these could go to that we would want to sell at? This just is going to be a continuation of my series where every week I try to find a top influencer. We look at the coins that they've posted or talked about, and then we review it from a TA standpoint. I think this is something that hopefully you guys like, and I got a lot of positive feedback from it last time, so I thought, why not continue it? You can see I have I'm gonna shrink myself, and I'm gonna show you what I have right now, and you guys can also go to his profile and pull them up. Let me shrink myself. Let's get rid of the crazy background first. All right, background is gone. There's the list behind me, big white screen. You can see lots of people are looking at it. Why can I not shrink myself today? Shrinking. Okay. Very small right here. All right, now that we've applied the shrink ray to me. Hello down here in the corner. Hi, Alex Bato. Hello, Philson. So guys, we're going to go over maybe like 3 today in the public show. And then in the after party, I'll go through like 10 of them. These are coins. So this he recently posted to his Twitter. And these are coins that he owns or has discussed. Most of them he has admitted that he has a partnership in it, or he's heavily invested, and he's advising or been a paid consultant or partner for. So I think he's doing this partially from a legal standpoint, but also because of, you guys know what's going on with Roger Ver and CZ both getting arrested. I think Alex Becker is a little bit concerned about that. And that's why he's kind of pointing why he's doing this, to be totally transparent, because, social media, a lot of people that are very famous on social media that obviously are very rich, the government is kind of, I think they're under the radar. I think they're not under the radar, but they are under the bullseye. And the government is looking into these people. So I think this is his way of trying to be transparent as possible to avoid anything like that. But he has some that he posted about that are not listed here. How do I pull this up without I don't want to pull it up here. Let me shrink this. This is the Discord, right? And I'm going to put it over here. So I've got 3 names that we're going to talk about that actually are not in this list, I believe. One is NAI, one is HASHAI, and another is Desync. So stay to the end of the stream. We're going to go about 30 to 35 minutes. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about the S&P, and then I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. And then in the last 10 to 15 minutes, we'll go through these 3 coins that I just talked about, that I just mentioned. And then in the after party, I will go through this big list here. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So first, we got to talk about the S&P. I talk about the S&P every week. We got to look at it. It's important. what is happening in the normal stock market. Look, you can see I was looking at I posted a trade for Rune. I'm getting all distracted, but this is the Rune trade. Big potential, very nice. We'll talk about that later. Let's go to the S&P. All right. Weekly chart. Remember last week I talked about I want to see what happens in this area because it looks like what happened in 2023. Do we get a bounce off this 20-week EMA? This is what this is. This 20-week EMA. We're bouncing off it the same as we did in 2023. How high do we push? Here we went slightly above my heuristic channel. Here we're getting rejected at 51.29. So I'm watching that and I'm seeing if we break down from this VIP level. If we do, we get the next leg lower, which could be all the way down here to this 4,800 to 4,600 zone. This whole area is open for play. Very real possibility. I'm also watching liquidity. So you can see how liquidity was drained and the market fell apart. And now they're pushing it up just a little tiny bit. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week with liquidity, because if they inject more liquidity, then the market will rebound. But if they continue to pull liquidity out, then it'll probably roll over and hit my target. So we're kind of in like a no man's zone here. When the weekly chart is sitting at this blue line VIP level, I consider this basically a no man's zone where the market is in a state of indecision. And that's the hardest thing to trade. If we look at the daily and we use my RSI method, so for my normal RSI method, this would actually be a buy. This would be a buy here, where we had the downtrend line. We came out, broke out on the other side of the downtrend line, retraced, and now we're on the other side of the downtrend line. That is a buy. So for me, based on my signaling that I like to use, this is a buy, and the target is up here at 5,500. That would be the target. What is that from a risk reward standpoint? If you bought there, you set your low below. Let's go all the way below this low candle here. I think it's a bit too much, and then we go up to here. So it's a risk reward of 4. I usually prefer 5 or higher. So you could just go to here, but you might get stopped out. That's the risk. But then you have an 8-to-1 risk reward. So if you do get stopped out, you could then rehunt for another setup, and you've got 7 more chances at that risk reward ratio rather than only 4 chances. Hopefully that makes sense. Why am I leaning bullish here? Because this hasn't broken down. As I said, we are still in that no man's land zone, so we could break down and go down to this level, this 4,700. You see how this lines up with also the 200-day moving average? So those are your 2 zones basically. And if that's your long, this is your risk reward for a long. So let's say you did instead, you did a short. What would your short be? So from right here, you've got to put your stop above these highs, and then you're going right to the 200-day moving average. Unfortunately, you only have a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio here, and the move is a 6.5% move, while in the other direction, how much was it? Let's see. This is a 9.6%, almost a 10% move. The upside move looks better from my standpoint, but I can understand why you might still be bearish here. I can understand that this doesn't look great. The daily is still below the VIP line, but again, I'm going to reiterate from my setup, a long is what I should be taking here. Let's look at the lower time frames just a little bit, just to see. So on this 4 hour, this doesn't look great, actually. This is where it gets confusing, because this would be my long setup, and then this is the breakdown right here, and then this would be the short right here, and then you short to the downside. So that gives an example of the state of indecision, because on the lower time frame, it actually looks like a short. On the higher time frame, the daily chart, it looks like a long. On the 3-day and the weekly, it looks like a sit on your hands and do nothing area, which is kind of what it is. You generally want to refer to these higher time frames. And on the weekly, it's a do nothing area. It really is. But that's what I'm seeing here. Let's look at the options really quick. I always talk about OPEX expiry. So let's make sure our date. We want 5/3 here. Hello, Sean. Welcome. Surprised we only have 14 people here today. Normally we have at least 20 people. Where is everyone? Is it a holiday or something? Okay, so huge amount of puts here. Really large. Your call wall is at 5,100. Let's see here. So we're at 50,000, 50,33. Call wall 5,100. Put wall 50,000. So it's safe within this range here. Don't expect it to go outside that range come Friday. That's what you can expect to see. You could even do like a butterfly and try to pinpoint this move here and probably make a decent profit. But only if we like go all the way down here, and then you've got to you buy into the butterfly for the rebound and then hope that it tags between maybe 50-60 and 50-40 area, and then you can make maybe 100%, 150% return. If that makes sense. Yes, you should say hi, because then I'll interact with you. And I might put you on the spot though. I might ask you some specific questions, but yeah, say hi. That's why I do these shows live. I'd rather be sleeping at this time, honestly. It's 11:20 here in Bangkok, but I do it live because I like to interact with you guys, and it makes it more fun. We do a lot of interactions in the private or the after party, which is the private community show. So feel free to join those. I don't think I've seen you guys in there too much. Okay, so that is the S&P. That's what I'm seeing going into Friday, and this is the side I'm kind of leaning on, but I'm not. I wouldn't bet the farm on this. There is a chance we can make a second leg lower where we just doop and then doop and then boom, we're down here 4,800 basically. That's the other very real possibility. Yeah, and in this 1 hour honestly looks like crap. So, perhaps on Monday we roll over and we head down to 4,800. That's the two areas. You kind of have to decide which way you think we're going to go, but it's not. I think it's not clear at all. It's a very hard trade to take. Understandable, Sean. Okay, so let's look at, what do I want to look at before we jump into, let's look at silver really quick. I know that was really popular for a while. So silver broke down here, and I'm just watching to see if we get a reversal. It's basically at the support level right here. Target is 33 to 35, which I've talked about multiple times. Right now we're just seeing how far is it going to pull back. When do we get our reversal? And I'm watching closely for that, and it does look like we're getting there, but I need to see on the other side of this trend line. I want to see push up, retest, and then long there. That's basically what I want to see on silver. I don't want to talk about it too long, but that's what I'm seeing there. Let's look at the US dollar. How is that doing? US dollar is getting rejected, so that's bullish for metals. Yeah, US dollar is looking. Yeah, you've got a 7 that came in. Let me just clean up some of this stuff here. Okay. Doesn't look amazing on a weekly chart. Got rejected from this original level. I was hoping this would be a breakout. You can see this downtrend line did break out, but we didn't push that high. I would have really liked to have seen us push a lot higher. That's kind of unfortunate there to see that. And on the daily, this is actually a breakdown here, but we're still above that VIP line, still above the heuristic channel. I don't like what I'm seeing here, though, from a US dollar bullish standpoint. It almost looks like a topping out distribution area, kind of similar to what happened back in October of last year. So we're kind of seeing the same thing again. But that'll be bullish for things like silver. So maybe silver gets that breakout and then pull back, and then it moves higher. If that makes sense. Okay, so there's that. Are there any stocks I want to talk about? I mean, Etsy got destroyed today, right? So Etsy here. I don't know if you guys care about this stuff, but Etsy got destroyed. I wanted to show you from like a weekly standpoint how it's pulled back to this support level. I don't see anything that would make me bullish here just yet. Looking at a monthly chart, this doesn't look that great. It is coming into support, but it kind of looks like it's consolidating on the downside. This was a big pullback. I think, let me see here. Come on, fill in the data. Negative 15% today, basically. Earnings were obviously very bad. Go to the daily chart. Let's look at the earnings. Yeah, so actually surprised to the upside, but the earnings were surprised to the downside. I'm surprised it dropped that much, actually. Those earnings were not as bad as I thought they would be. There must have been some kind of guidance that the market didn't like, or just a lot of people were long, so they're selling off. But this, from a technical standpoint, doesn't look amazing here. And if it continues to break down, I could see it dropping all the way down to 30. Cut in half. That's what I'm seeing here. Maybe a little bit lower to take out that liquidity. But I'm not touching it, but I just wanted to talk about it because I know they just reported earnings. And I think a lot of people are talking about Etsy as a company. Okay, 15 minutes in, still talking about the old-time finance market. Trying to think if I want to talk about anything else before I jump into crypto. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. I mean, there are some things like Boeing. Boeing's been hit hard, but on a monthly chart, it's not a complete disaster. It's kind of all over the place. Nothing above the VIP line. But if we go to a weekly, you did have a 7 and 8 come in. You are in this kind of like, let me get rid of some of this stuff. This is like a general reload zone from the previous highs. So it doesn't look that terrible. It needs to get above this trend heuristic channel. If we go to these other lower time frames, the daily looks like it's breaking out to the upside. See here, I do want to see us push above this downtrend line, obviously. So we push through this one and we have a second one. If it can push through the second one and the 50 EMA, that could be a big signal that it's going to move higher. It does have a gap up here at 240. I think Boeing had a lot of FUD. Has a hit squad out for whistleblowers. Earnings came in great, 30% to the upside, surprise. They still lost money, but it looks like it was a nice surprise to the upside. Boeing to cut supplier demand. Boeing supplier sues, despite slashing. Here's why. I mean, I think the worst of the news is over. They've gotten people extremely bearish on Boeing. And we took out these lows from, Boeing hadn't been this low since 2022. It looks like it's reversing, seriously, on a daily chart and a weekly chart. This is like a buy zone almost. And if we look at, like, if I get rid of that, which was this is like the higher time frame area, and we're in this zone where you want to buy. Now, if we look at just this area here from basically December 2023 to right down here, September 2022, we can see how also we came down into this reload zone. Would I have liked us to come down into the 78.6, 88.6 levels? Yes, but we didn't. It looks like we're reversing at the 61.8. Is it like rah bull yet? No, but it's looking a lot more healthy than it has in a long time, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I need to see a push above this trend heuristic channel, a retest, and then liftoff. So I'm keeping an eye on Boeing, and I think it's looking better than it has in a long time. Since basically December, it's been in a downtrend line. It's about time that it considers reversing. So, maybe something to put on your radar. You can see last time it hit a 7, 8, and 9, it reversed and had a big rally. So we're in that kind of same zone again of reversal and potential rally. All right, so that's enough, I think, for traditional assets. We've got about 15 minutes yet. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, and then we're going to talk about a couple of Alex Becker picks. See what I think of them. Are they in a buying zone, or is it a scam? Not a scam as far as the coin is a scam, but you guys know what I mean. All right, weekly chart of Bitcoin. Still in an uptrend. This is still in an uptrend. There's nothing's been harmed with this pullback. If anything, it's healthy. I told you when we had the 7, 8, and 9 come in that you're going to get at least a pause, if not a pullback. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. I think it was quite obvious to a lot of people. Arthur Hayes wrote a nice article about the pullback. I would like to see a bigger pullback down to like 45. That would be great. I don't know if we're going to get it. I think a lot of people really want to see that. But we've got the 7, 8, and 9 that's come in, and you can see previously times the 7, 8, and 9s have come in. They've created a pause in price or a reversal. And that's what we're seeing here with Bitcoin, where we have this 9 and price is slowly trying to reverse. Now, as far as RSI is concerned, this was a massive breakdown, and there's nothing bullish about this at all. Absolutely nothing. This does not look good from a long standpoint. All we have is this 9 as a reversal, and the fact that they liquidated a lot of people here. If we go to my liquidation index, right? Bitcoin liquidations. And we would go to like a daily chart. Look at how many liquidations they had here. Look at this. This is the most liquidations in a day since April. Actually, there were a bunch on the 13th and the 12th. So it's only been like 2 weeks, but it's the most in 2 weeks. So there you go. And then before that, we had March liquidations. Actually, it's really not, compared to how big the liquidations were here. I'm surprised that we're rebounding. Like, actually, it's not enough liquidations. This is a very sparse amount of liquidations, 45,000. While they had multiple days with much bigger liquidations here. So that is actually a concern of mine, where I think before we can have a huge up leg, there needs to be a massive like 100 million liquidation. Like here, it was 140 million liquidation. Need to see something like that. I want to see some kind of 100 million, 200 million liquidation come in. And that's when you know the bottom is in and it's time to go up. Right now, we're just getting these baby liquidations. That's it. It's not. I don't think it's big enough. I think something bigger needs to happen. Let's go back to the chart here. All right. Okay. So 9 came in, so we might get a bounce here. We are getting a bounce actually, but will we get a full reversal? Not really. It's not clear. I think you need to see some kind of W form here with RSI. We need to see some kind of divergence. Right now, I'm not really seeing that. So I'm cautious, but I did pick up a bunch of alt names because the alts were looking a lot healthier. Bitcoin could ruin the party, but for now, it had a nice move from to the upside, and you can see how it took out. Did it take out the top? Basically, it took out any shorts here. It's always hunting liquidity. Whenever Bitcoin makes any kind of move, it's just hunting liquidity. You could probably go to like a 15-minute chart and see how taking out these highs liquidated people. Yeah, so you see this? 3 million, 2.5 million got liquidated on this move up here, right? And then the move down liquidated 10 million. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of movements to hit liquidation levels. That's really all it is. Maybe it pushes a little bit higher and hits more liquidations up here and then reverses. Can't be 100% sure about that. But that's you. Once you understand that, it will help you to trade this price action better when you're using your indicators that you take into account. Where is the potential liquidation level? Oh, it's up here. Okay, I should wait till that level is potentially hit before I start looking at reversals with my indicator, such as my momentum indicator, such as RSI. Or you can just use price action. You know, either one works. So you can see on this 15-minute, okay, maybe price is breaking down. That's what's potentially happening here. Hasn't yet, but potentially it is. Okay, so let's look at this just a little bit more from a higher time frame perspective, because you're going to go a whole week without me doing a show. Until, how do I say this? Until this downtrend line right here is broken to the upside, I don't think we should get too bullish on Bitcoin. I think you should lean bearishly, and these are lower, simply just higher lows and lower highs. That's it. That's all it is. And it's slowly breaking down, and there's nothing bullish about this until we start seeing higher highs and lower highs. That's what we want to see. Higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs and higher lows. Sorry, higher highs and higher lows for the upside. Lower lows and lower highs for downside movement. And right now we're seeing lower lows and lower highs. We need to see a reversal in that pattern to get really bullish again. And right now I think it's time for caution. Now, with that being said, I want to look at a couple of Alex Becker's names that he's talking about. The 3 that he's posted in the past month in his Twitter. These are 3 names he posted in the past month in his Twitter we're going to talk about. Let me pull up my, right here, Discord. Let me see. All right, the first one is NAI USDT. This one, they have it on MEXC. So this one is NAI. Just came out April 17th. So not even 2 weeks old. You guys know how I feel about tokens that are this new. I think it's extremely risky, and price action can get away from you. Things can retrace. Very difficult to apply technical analysis to anything like this. I actually hate doing it, and mostly I dismiss these kind of coins. But since this is something that he posted about, we have to take a look at it. Oh. All right, so 61.878.6. It is in a buy zone. This is the zone where I want to be long here, right here. This is extra risky though because it just came out. You can see it. It was all the way up here at 0.06. It retraced a massive amount. Going off like a 4-hour chart, which is really all we can do. It's looking like a lot of altcoins right now. It's looking quite bullish. But what is the upside target? Where could it go to in the short term? I mean, this almost looks like a bull flag, right? That. It didn't break out yet. This kind of downtrend that it's in. It's not, I wouldn't exactly call it a bull flag actually. But it looks like a downward trending wedge. The 4-hour RSI, I don't really trust RSIs below daily, but on the 4-hour RSI, it does look bullish. This could be considered your W. So if this was your W, upside objective would be 0.04. And if this is, that's really all I can say on this one. It's too new. But an upside objective of at least movement up to this area, 0.4, right above these highs, wouldn't surprise me. So, you know, a trade where you set your stop. Let me see if you went long here and you set your stop below this ultimate low. Oops. Below this ultimate low here, and your target is just here. Your risk reward is just 2. To be honest, that doesn't look great. All right, so that's that one. I wouldn't take it. I think it's risky. I think there's better coins out there than this one. I don't know anything about what this company does, but this looks like a dangerous, very dangerous bet from my standpoint. The next one is Hashai. Crypto. It's on Poloniex. Oh, so you can get it on, yeah, Ethereum, and Poloniex has it. Let's look at this. Another just released coin. Damn. Really recent coins that he likes to talk about. I mean, maybe it was, let me see if there's more data on chain. Swap. Nope, they basically released it the day of. Look at that, how it just like launch and boom. Let's go back to Poloniex. Yeah, April 3rd, they listed on Poloniex the same day. That's pretty impressive if it got listed on Poloniex on its first launch day. I don't like that these are new coins. The other coins that we're going to look at that he's talked about are much older coins. But if this is the range and it breaks out to the upside, you're looking at a move to 0.05. It's not bad. Again, I just don't like how new these coins are. Extremely new, extremely risky. The newer it is, the riskier it is. Do I think it's going to be a rug pull? No, but it's you're taking a chance here. You're taking a chance. That's all I'm saying. Taking a chance. Long position from here. Set your stop below your low here and target up here. It's an 8-to-1, basically 7.8-to-1 risk reward. You've got a 25% downside, 200% upside. It's not bad. Just if you want to buy this one, just understand that you could lose 25% and get stopped out. Or you can make 200%. High risk, high reward, right? Okay, so that's that one. Hashai. And the last one is Desync. A lot of these are not listed. None of these are listed on Binance. That's a good thing. That means that they have a lot of upside. This one came out in March, so a little bit more history. And it's been flagging ever since the beginning of April. Kind of forming this consolidation pattern. Doesn't look bad. Yeah, honestly, it really doesn't look bad. I like to see some kind of consolidation like this. I think it has a lot of upside potentially. You could even say that this is like the ABCD. Oops. Right, like that. And there, yeah, I like to see this line up. So if you bought here and you say your stop below these lows, you know, let's go below the ultimate low here, and your target is up here. 32% downside, 230% upside, risk reward 7-to-1. I mean, I like it. I like it. I think it's great. Let's see. I do feel like it's kind of Wing out here. This one looks the best of all of them that I've seen. It also has more history, which is nice. But we need to get on the other side of this. If you go to a daily, heuristic trend channel is just starting to form. I don't like that it's just starting to form. Yeah, this is where you would W out. I almost want to be more conservative and say that this is my range. And then the target is just up here. So then your target is right here. And then you're only at a 4-to-1 risk reward. You can set your stop here though. You're still at a 7-to-1 where you've got 150% upside, 20% downside. Not bad. I have no idea what they do. I haven't had time to look into exactly what it is. I'm sure he's talked about it. And there's probably a reason he's interested in it. But this is what you can expect. And this is where I would consider taking profits. Right here and right here. 150 and 200% levels are probably when things will pause, go back into consolidation before we move higher. Of course, there is always the chance that you can get extension targets, which would be, if I activate these two, like that. So 16, I've seen plenty of coins go to the 16.88 area, and that would be a home run, right? So if let's say you held till there, right? Okay, that's 600% return. Not bad, right? Not bad. I'm not sure about the market cap of these. You'd have to check. I'd assume they're not very big if they're not even listed on Binance yet. So these are definitely early investor coins. The first one I didn't like, but the second two were decent. Hopefully that provides some value to you guys and, you know, gives you something to think about from new altcoins. The one last thing I wanted to touch on is I talked about some of these coins in last week's daily brief. So I picked up Cello. I picked up GNS USDT. I picked up ERN. Oh wow, ERN really moves because I picked it up a couple hours ago. So let me see. Yeah, ERN I picked up like down here, so at 360, and it's already at 380. VAI I picked up. You can see how these all have 8 and 9s coming in on the daily chart. So I've bought a bunch of these. Route as well. I purchased. It's because from a daily standpoint, they're all kind of at 8 and 9 levels. They're consolidating. They look like they're getting ready to potentially move higher. They're in reload zones. So these are a bunch of coins that I've recently purchased. Just wanted to. I talked about them last week. You can go look back at the Afterparty daily brief where I went through the technical analysis for all of them and talked about the reasoning behind them and where I would take profits, which was a much lower level than where the influencer shilling these was saying. He's like 20 to 40x, 100x. It's just pure insanity. He might be right with like 1 out of the 100 that he talks about. Okay, I think we're gonna end it there for the public show. I'm gonna take like a 5 to 10 minute break, probably 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and I will go through maybe 10 to 15 of the coins on Alex Becker's list here. I'll probably go through 10 to 15 of these and we can talk about them. All right, hope to see you guys over there. If you're not a member of TRI, consider joining, free trial, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And you get to ask me personalized questions every Thursday, and I will answer all of them. All right, see you guys there.